Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Mornings with the Focus. You got Raymond Lyons joining me this morning. I'm Wilson Tarpe Jr. And again, just a reminder, man, every morning, between 9:30 and 10 a.m., we'll get started. We got some interesting things to talk about this morning. Ray, welcome. Long time no see. All right, so
Good to
Bruce
be back,
Arians,
man. Good to be back.
right. It's been a whole 15 hours, man. Uh, the Arians succession plan. We heard about Tom Brady coming back. Bucks fans were elated. Oh my goodness, we don't have to worry about whatever the plan was at QB. Tom's back. That's great. So Bruce, in pure Bruce Arians fashion, and which only he can do, he announced yesterday that he's retiring. Um, so before folks try to go crazy, like, hey, he did this, Tom didn't know about it. No, Tom was made aware of it. So Tom was on board already. It's just the rest of us found out yesterday. So your thoughts on, well, first let's throw some background in here. Announced his retirement last night. He's going to be succeeded by Todd Bowles. Bowles becomes the fourth black coach in Tampa Bay Buccaneer history, and he had his, I think it was a defensive coordinator title, had that contract ripped to shreds, received a 5-year deal to become their head coach. Want to know your thoughts on Arians, kind of with the low-key power move, naming his successor, so you can't go on a coaching search and do what you typically do, NFL. And how fitting of it do you think, like, kind of his last move, his coaching career, was to lift up minorities once again, as he's done in the past with, if you look at his staffs, like, we know what his coaching staffs look like.
Mm-hmm.
Opportunities galore, which is what the league should look like for the most part. But unfortunately, they're mostly collected on one or two teams in the league.
Well, first of all, I need people to use a little bit of common sense here. If this was some type of non-Tom Brady approved thing, Arians wouldn't remain in the organization. That's first and foremost. This was clearly communicated, and it was obviously a plan. In regards to him elevating Todd Bowles, I think it's awesome. Like you said, man, this should be a normal thing in this league. But yeah, the fact that he orchestrated it this way to not even give an opportunity for any foolishness to happen, it's dope, man. And it's a guy that he's had a lot of success next to, so why not? It's seemingly it's a logical next step. If it was any other situation, and and the coach stepped aside, then they want to keep that thing in house and have the guy that's been there through the build up to be in that seat. He's familiar with the organization, familiar with the players, familiar with the style of football they play. It's why not, man? Why not? It makes perfect sense to me. And yeah, man, it's just good to see, some action in regards to, addressing this issue that sports has with putting minorities in leadership positions. You know, it's cool to release statements and all that and say how wrong it is, but there's a lot of people that are in positions to positively affect this issue that, pretty frankly, they just don't do it. So it's just cool to see somebody, kind of flex their muscle a little bit and do the right thing, to be perfectly honest. Because if he steps aside and and they don't look at Byron Leftwich or Todd Bowles for that head coaching position, like it's a slap in the face. So yeah, man, it's cool to see it in action.
Yeah, one of the things, I don't have the quote verbatim, some paraphrases a little bit, but essentially wanted to say he wanted to make sure that Todd wasn't, that the next job Todd was given wasn't with a crappy team.
Mm-hmm.
Like, want to give you a fair shot at this, like this time around, like, and this is more than a fair shot at it. Like, you're not set up for failure. Like sometimes how his peers have peers have been in the past, where it's yeah, there's a job for you. We saw David Culley in Houston last year.
Right.
We all knew how that was going to end. Like, we knew how it was going to end when he got hired, and he didn't even do a bad job last year. But again, I want to give credit to Bruce for that. I would say wish him well in his retirement, but he's just moving upstairs. So I mean, that's cool. All right, so it was a discussion for whatever reason for most of this season. Well, not for most of the season. It kind of got started late in the college basketball season on the women's side about who was going to be the 2022 Naismith Women's College Player of the Year. And folks, even after it was announced yesterday, people were you got, for whatever reason, an invisible line in the sand was drawn, and people are saying player B was transcendent, player A just plays with other good players. A lot of interesting things being said about two very talented players in their own right, and all four that were nominated for this award deserve to be nominated. That said, your 2022 Naismith Women's College Player of the Year happened to be one Aaliyah Boston from South Carolina. She also happened to be the Defensive Player of the Year as well. So, Ray, your thoughts on that, and then if you like to chime in on that discussion that somehow turned bitter and nasty in on social media.
First off, congrats to Aaliyah Boston, man. Well deserved on both awards. I didn't think it was any debate as far as I'm concerned, because the results speak for themselves, man. To be that dominant on one of the best teams in the country. I mean, what more do you have to do to solidify yourself? And I get other players had great seasons as well, but there can only be one best, and she was the best. Um, I don't understand why people have an issue with that, but here we are. She was given the awards, nothing you can do about it now. Just say congratulations and move on with your life. As far as that other discussion, I'm going to be very clear about this. The main player that that they were putting in that spot,
Mm-hmm.
the year to have that discussion about her was last year.
Thank you.
When she had more of a claim to it than she did this year, because Aaliyah just made it undeniable in my eyes. The opportunity for the other young lady was last year. But folks decided that they wanted someone else to have that spot. Not to say that she wasn't deserving, but
Can you go back to that word you just used? Folks decided, real quick. All right.
yeah, they decided. They didn't just let the work speak for itself.
Mm-hmm.
It was much more of a conversation between the top two players last year, in my eyes, than it was this year. So, I mean, it's unfortunate. And I actually feel bad for Leah that she has to even endure this. I mean, but from the looks of it, she's just keeping her head down and going to work, and she's in the Final Four. But it's I'm getting tired of stuff like this, man. Like it's crazy, and it's even spilling over to her coach. Like people had an issue with Don being named Coach of the Year. Like, come on, man, this is crazy. And it was probably like midway through the season. Don spoke up on it, and I'm glad she's there to kind of be the voice, because of course I don't know Aaliyah Boston personally, but she doesn't seem the type to get involved in all this stuff. Just sticks to her business and does what she has to do on the court. But yeah, I'm glad Don addressed it, man, because it has to be said out loud so people can realize how ridiculous they're being. But yeah, man, it was much deserved. I'm glad she got her just due. I didn't think it was going to go south, but you never know, man. You never know. But yeah, man, I'm just happy they got it right.
Yeah, they got it right. It wasn't really a choice. We knew what it was from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. Production never stopped. Some of the numbers got even more absurd as the years gone on. And this has nothing to do with the other players. Every other player was deserving. She's been a level above all season long. And as you talk about Caitlin, like last year was the year.
Yeah.
It was botched. All right. Like, let's call it what it is. Like, you want to take the pitchforks and go somewhere? Go talk to them people who made that decision last year. Y'all know I'm an unapologetic UConn fan. you and Cardell, what was I screaming all from the beginning of the year last year? What was I screaming? I think was it her first 3 games? I was in group chat like, hey y'all, need to watch Iowa. Hey y'all, need to watch Iowa. Hey y'all. That was me last year. Like last year was the year for it because it was nuts. The numbers were absurd last year. And this year's a little bit, she didn't have a bad year, but like you had the peaks and valleys, the gap was kind of bigger this year because teams were ready for you.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. That's what's supposed to happen. But last year, when you had the jump on folks, oh, she went crazy. That was the year to have it. And again, big fan of the school that I root for. Caitlin should have had the award last year. It's really simple. That's it. Like, that's it. It's not that, to me, it's not that hard. It shouldn't be. And for the folks that want to be mad about what happened last year, this isn't the way to go about it when the candidate that you're trying to, unseat or whatever, bro, they played the toughest schedule in the country. They beat every team that had a number next to it. They lost to Kentucky and then is taking it out on everybody else. They've played ugly games. They've played pretty games. At the end of the day, they just keep winning. They're in the Final Four, and they're focused on getting the job done this time. That's all they're focused on. But again, this was the best player in college basketball when the year started, the best player in college basketball when the year ended. And I hate to say it, most of the folks in this draft right here need to hope and pray that she doesn't declare early because whoever was supposed to be the number 1 pick, it's in jeopardy.
Oh,
right?
absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's not a knock on anybody else. It's just the honest to goodness truth. You get post players like that, you take them immediately, 12 times out of 10, and you walk away. That's it. Like, that's it, man. But again, congrats to Aaliyah Boston. And yeah, man, I remember she came to her freshman year. South Carolina came out here to Maryland, and yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That was ugly.
And it's progressed rapidly every year, and yeah, y'all gotta just let stuff be sometimes, man. It's just not a good look. Just let it be, man. Just coaches jumping out there. I don't even understand what you're jumping out there for. Just relax. Y'all out there getting sent home early in the tournament and stuff. Like, that doesn't help anybody. How does that help, right? Like, what's going on? Oh man.
That little speech that the Iowa coach gave, that was classless and unnecessary.
It was.
Like,
it was. Like, she's too good of a player. She's such a good player. You don't have to do that.
Thank you.
Like, at all.
Thank you.
She's that good of a player. You don't have to. You really don't. Oh, guards are more important than post players. Chill. Just take a deep breath. Relax. Just take a deep breath. I think I closed the app yesterday when somebody was like, oh man, it's transcending women's basketball. Right? People have been taking threes for a break. Relax. People have been taking deep threes for quite a while. Let it go. She is super talented. Y'all don't have to do this. Like, that's the saddest part. She's really nice. Y'all don't have to do
super nice, man.
Like all y'all got to do is sit back. Like, her game speaks for itself. Stop this nonsense. And you're talking about you felt bad for Leah having to endure it. I felt bad for both of them.
Right? Yeah.
Because Taylor's just sitting here minding her business and hooping. Aaliyah's minding her business and hooping, and y'all are doing the most. You're just doing the most. They're both spectacular players, man. Somebody's team has been smacking other teams. It is what it is. And the whole crazy argument that, well, you're on the team with stacked players, bro. It's her and everybody else. Don't do that. We know what time it is. And South Carolina is deep, right? But Aaliyah's at the top of the ladder there. Okay?
Yeah.
We all know that.
Clearly.
Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And honestly, like, get more talent and get Caitlin some help. Get her some more help. How about we focus on that? While she's still here, get her more help. Do that. That's what I think. But again, the year to be mad was the freshman year. That's it. That's what you had. Hopefully, your junior year, even more success. But we'll see. On to something that made some people very, very, very mad yesterday. Other people, just kind of happy to see two folks who used to work together, catch up, if you will. Where is that? Let me share it. Got some pictures here. Michigan football named Colin Kaepernick, honorary captain for Saturday's Maize and Blue Spring game. How well do you think folks, both Michigan fans and not, are taking this? And just your thoughts in general, Harbs bringing back one of his guys.
So people are up in arms about a spring scrimmage. Is that what I'm gathering from this?
A little bit. Some people are like it's a stain on the university for him being named, and it's and that's the timbre of the type of comments being shared at this moment.
Wow. My advice is to get a life. like I don't understand, man. Like, because that's wild. But yeah, find some business, tend to it, and let them people in Michigan do what they want. Like, this is craziness, man. Like, and quite frankly, your racism is showing. If you're that upset about this, like, what reason do you have to be upset?
All right, I think I scrolled one up here. You see this one? No longer a Michigan fan. It won't be until Coach Harbs gets fired. Like, this is where folks are taking it, man.
Wow. Just for that, he should have him on the sideline at every game. Like, if you're going to get that upset, like, yeah, all right, then he should antagonize you to the utmost level.
Like, it is. I saw that yesterday and I couldn't stop laughing. I haven't stopped laughing. When I put up the tweet this morning, I continue to laugh. Like, bro, they used to play together, man. Life's gonna be fine, man. Life's gonna be okay. Also, you said what needed to be said already. Like, it's just not a big deal. Like, anytime any other NFL player comes by, it's not an issue, right? Cool.
Exactly.
He didn't go there, so what? He knows your coach. He's played a role in the success your coach had in the NFL.
Wow.
That's why Coach Khaki Pants is there.
Hey, we bringing out the tiki torches for intra-squad spring
for a spring
scrimmage
game. Yeah.
That's
Big
amazing.
Big mad, man. Like, it that seals the deal. I am no longer Michigan football season ticket holder. Starting price $500. I will be a diehard Wolverines fan until the day I die. However, today is a day I'm embarrassed to be a Michigan Wolverines fan. Ann Arbor Police, guess you don't have hardball support. Man, again, fun times going down that thread right there. Just fun times. I'm gonna stop. Just had to share it. But shout out the Harbs, man. All right, this is a fun one before we close. This is so good. So when we think about players in the NBA that were anti-vax, there's one person that comes to mind and one person only. Talking about none other than Flat Earth, aka Kyrie Irving himself. ESPN report came out from Tim Bontemps yesterday, saying that the Celtics and Sixers declined to comment when asked if their teams were fully vaccinated. The Heat and the Bucks confirmed to ESPN that their squads were fully vaccinated with no issue. Your thoughts on just how pivotal a role that might play depending on which players are and are not vaccinated? Because someone's going to have to play Toronto. I want to throw that out there.
Yeah, if you're not vaccinated at this point, I wish you the worst. You deserve whatever happens to you. You had the whole season to get this squared away. And if it comes down to it where it's found out like this, you and your franchise deserve all the embarrassment that comes with it. Like, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, man. So as it stands, they're going to be playing Philly?
What we got as of right now? Yeah. Well, no. Well, yeah, 3-6. Yeah, to be Philly. So either you got two teams vying for third, right? Either one of those two teams that are in 3 and 4. So it's a possibility. No matter what happens, one of those teams are playing the Raptors because the Raptors could end up being 6th or 5th.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm
So
saying? Either way.
so Boston and Philly. Hey man, look, you've had since what, October?
Mhm.
And and like that's, I always kind of felt like the spotlight was on Kyrie just because of the NY situation.
Mhm.
I mean, and he brought that on himself as well. Like if you don't want to do it, cool. I'm not fighting you about your decision. It is what it is. But some things come with that. And eventually he was able to play because the mandates were changed. But now at this point, somebody's going to have to cross that border. But if you're not vaxxed, you're not crossing anything. And if you're not at this point, man, like I said, you deserve it. Like, come on. We've seen this play out the entire season with the Kyrie situation. And if you thought you were just gonna avoid it, yeah, man,
Man,
like that.
people was out here like, long as I don't make as much noise as he's making, I'll be good. No, at some point it was gonna happen, and we've reached that point, which is ridiculous because it's the postseason. And what's the craziest part about this? Because they're seated so freaking low, they might not have to worry about it at all. As for
Right.
you two, this legitimately impacts you both. One of you two is playing. One of you two is playing the Raptors stuff. No matter how we cut this, whether it's the 3-6 or the 4-5, one of you two have at least 2 games in Toronto.
It's
We got
actually
like 5 games left in the regular season. Keep that in mind, man. I got some
oh
theories
man.
as to who it may be on each team, but I'm not here for speculating. I'm just saying, if it happens to be a key player,
I'm
series can be shifted, man.
I'm going to laugh. I'm
Like,
gonna laugh extremely loud.
because there's one important player that comes to mind for one of them teams, and I'm gonna leave it alone. Then there's another, which I'm not too sure about, but it could be. But again, if it's key players, like
Yeah.
at least with Brooklyn, if Kai's out for 2 games, there's a whole Kevin Durant. Do y'all have a Kevin Durant safety net if you miss a pivotal piece? I'm not trying to be
Oh
rude.
man.
I'm
It's
not trying to be rude, Ray. I'm just saying, like, if ever I was in a bad situation, right? And I'm like, hey, I need one of these 2 games on the road. Could you get me one? That's a guy I'm happy knowing that's on my side. Okay. I feel good. If I'm like, hey, just give me one. I feel great. Do you, Philly and Boston?
But like you said before we got on, man, the other 2 teams they ask, immediate response. Yes.
Because they serious. Bro, like, so Toronto's in 6, right? They're in 6 and trending upwards. They're on a 4-game win streak.
Oh, buddy, this is about to get interesting, man. You got to put that the dude eating popcorn at WrestleMania gif.
You almost have to. So as of right now, and this is the other thing. So they're on a 4-game win streak, and since I guess Cleveland lost recently, they got a 2-game lead on Cleveland. They are going to be at least the 6th seed, unless everything goes wrong for Toronto, and they look like they're trending upwards at the right time of the year. Boston and Philadelphia. You can't drop below Toronto, because if you drop below them, if they leapfrog one of y'all, then they have home court.
Yeah. Oh man, and then don't you what? And I think it's something funky with the requirements. You got to be fully vaxxed for at least 2 weeks. So The
Bro,
first
that's what
round,
I'm saying.
the
Like,
first
you're
round is in
short.
2 weeks, man. So
That's 1, 2, and the booster. Bro, y'all are tripping. And everyone was worried about flat Earth, but they hanging around in a place where they ain't got to worry about Toronto unless Toronto takes care of people.
exactly.
You, on the other hand, that is a clear and present danger. Like, and my whole thing is, I don't think it would have been a big deal or even been in a report if it was players that weren't in the rotation or not a big piece to these teams. Because then it wouldn't matter. If you're
Right,
not in
yeah.
rotation, nobody cares.
Yeah, so I just putting 2 and 2 together from the outside. Somebody's affected that's going to make a big difference.
Oh yeah,
Like,
somebody's.
yeah.
Somebody.
So
Yeah.
oh, buddy.
You say what? It starts in 2 weeks, man.
Something like that, yeah. Because I think regular
Because
season ends
next week
like
should be the end of the
the week
regular
of the
season,
10th.
right?
Yeah.
Yes. Man.
Look here. This is not my problem.
Everybody's sitting here worried about the wrong person. That's crazy. And I'm not excusing Flat Earth at all, but
right, yeah. I mean,
I'm not excusing him at all. At least they team did what they needed to do to make sure that it wouldn't affect them to that degree. Them folks was in 9th a little while ago. It was like, okay, they turned the switch up real quick. All right, we're good. Decent place. Bro, that's wild. That's all I got. That's wild. Like, that's honest to goodness wild. And I don't understand how it wasn't a bigger story yesterday.
yeah.
Honestly. Because anytime, Flat Earth said anything, man, they stopped the presses. The mayor said this, Kyrie thinks this, Kevin said this because of Kyrie. And again, not absolving Kyrie at all, but this ain't Kyrie's problem because we're not talking about Kyrie. Kyrie doesn't play for Philly or Boston. One of y'all two have to have 2 games in Toronto soon. What's going on, man? I just need to know. I just want to know. I want to thank y'all for spending time with us this morning. Ray, thanks for stopping by. Just a reminder, we're going to do Monday through Fridays every morning, starting sometime between 9:30 and 10 a.m. Again, it's up to you guys how long these go. There's a call-in. We do have the ability to let y'all call in. Come on and talk. It's up to you all. Don't forget to follow Focus TV on social media. A weekly installment of The Focus airs Wednesday mornings on our Roku channel. If you got a Roku television or device, all you got to do is hit the search bar, type in The Focus TV. And then Friday nights it airs at 10 p.m. That's our weekly installment of The Focus TV. It airs Friday nights at 10 p.m. on DCTV. If you're outside the city, you can still watch on DCTV.org. And then you can check on there to see when the show re-airs throughout the course of the weekend. Wizards Outlook. Mystics Outlook, which is coming up, is live following every Wizards or Mystics game. Most importantly, join us every morning here on Mornings with The Focus, and also get over to thefocustv.com. Y'all have a great morning. Well, great day, rather, because we're moving through the morning.